Welcome to my new video. Old cold crypto coin, the Liberty Quarter Dollar, holds a special place in the history of the United States, not just as a piece of everyday currency, but as a symbol of freedom, national identity, and artistic evolution. When we talk about liberty on American coins, we are really talking about the ideals upon which the nation was founded: freedom, independence, and democracy. Over the years, the image of liberty has appeared in many forms, and although the classic standing Liberty Quarter officially ended in 1930, the spirit of liberty continued to influence modern quarter designs, especially in the years 2009, 2016, and 2020. These years mark important chapters in U.S. coinage, where history, culture, and modern minting technology came together to create coins that are now highly discussed among collectors and history lovers alike. To fully understand the Liberty Quarter Dollar, we must first look at how the concept of liberty has been represented on American coins since the late 18th century. Liberty was often shown as a symbolic female figure, inspired by ancient Roman and Greek art, representing freedom and strength. By the early 20th century, the standing Liberty Quarter, designed by sculptor Herman A. McNeil, became one of the most beautiful and meaningful coins ever produced by the United States Mint. Even though that design was discontinued decades earlier, its influence never faded. Modern quarters, especially those released during commemorative programs, continue to echo the spirit of liberty in subtle but powerful ways. The year 2009 was especially significant for U.S. quarter dollars because it marked a transition period in American coinage. This was the final year of the District of Columbia and U.S. Territories Quarters Program, which followed the highly successful 50-state Quarters Program. While these quarters did not feature liberty directly on the reverse, the obverse still carried George Washington, whose legacy is deeply tied to the concept of liberty. For collectors, 2009 quarters are important because they represent the closing of a major chapter in U.S. numismatic history. Coins from this year were produced in lower mintages compared to earlier state quarters, making high-grade examples more desirable today. In 2009, the United States Mint also released special proof and silver versions of quarters, which attracted serious collectors. These coins, when preserved in pristine condition, can carry a premium value. Although circulated 2009 quarters are common, uncirculated and proof examples, especially those with strong strikes and clean surfaces, are becoming increasingly difficult to find. The liberty theme during this period is more symbolic than visual, reminding collectors that liberty is not just an image, but an idea woven into the nation's story. Moving forward to 2016, we enter a new era of quarter design under the the Beautiful Quarters program. This program highlighted national parks, monuments, and historic sites across the United States. While liberty was not directly shown on the reverse designs, the program itself was a celebration of America's natural beauty and heritage, both of which are protected by the freedoms liberty represents. The obverse once again featured George Washington, but in a refined and detailed engraving that reflected modern minting standards. The 2016 quarters are particularly interesting because of their variety. Coins were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, including clad proof and silver proof versions. Some collectors focus on error coins from this year, such as off-center strikes, double dies, and die cracks, which can significantly increase a coin's value. Liberty, in this sense, lives on to the freedom of expression seen in America's landscapes and the craftsmanship of the mint. High-grade 2016 quarters with minimal wear and strong luster are already gaining attention in the collector market. By the time we reach 2020, the liberty concept takes on an even deeper meaning. The year 2020 was a historic and challenging time for the United States and the world. During this year, the U.S. Mint continued the Beautiful Quarters program, releasing designs that honored national parks and historic locations. These quarters serve as reminders of resilience, unity, and freedom, core values associated with liberty. Collectors often view 2020 coins as historical artifacts that reflect a unique moment in modern history. The 2020 quarters were produced in large numbers, but just like other modern coins, their true value depends on condition, rarity of errors, and special finishes. Proof and silver proof versions from San Francisco are particularly popular among collectors. In addition, Some 2020 quarters were saved in uncirculated condition by collectors who recognize the historical importance of the year. Over time, these coins may gain added significance not only for their design, but also for the story behind their release. What makes Liberty Quarter dollars from 2009, 2016, and 2020 fascinating is the way they connect past and present. Even without a direct image of liberty on the coin, the idea of freedom is present in every design choice, every monument depicted, and every historical reference. These quarters remind us that liberty is not confined to one era or one image. It evolves with the nation. For collectors, this makes modern liberty-inspired quarters an exciting area of numismatics, blending history, art, and cultural meaning. From an investment perspective, liberty-related quarters from these years can be valuable when found in top condition or with rare minting errors. While most circulated examples are worth face value, uncirculated, proof, and silver versions can command higher prices. As time passes, demand for well-preserved examples is likely to increase, especially among collectors who appreciate modern U.S. coin programs. Patience and careful storage are key for anyone hoping to see long-term value growth. In conclusion, the Liberty Quarter dollar story is not just about one coin or one design. It is about a tradition that continues to shape American coinage. The years 2009, 2016, and 2020 represent important milestones where liberty's spirit remained alive through symbolism, national pride, and artistic expression. Whether you are a beginner collector or a seasoned numismatist, these quarters offer a meaningful connection to the ideals that define the United States. Each coin tells a quiet but powerful story of freedom, history, and the enduring legacy of liberty. Step 1. The Liberty Quarter dollar of the United States holds a special place in American numismatic history. And when we talk about the year 2009, we are really talking about a turning point in modern U.S. coinage. While the quarter still carried the spirit of liberty that began in 1932 with the Washington Quarter, the year 2009 marked a dramatic expansion in storytelling through coins. The Liberty Quarter tradition represents freedom, independence, and the democratic ideals upon which the United States was founded, and by 2009, those ideals were expressed not just through a single design, but through a series that honored the nation's capital and its far-reaching territories. The quarter dollar had already become one of the most widely circulated and recognized coins in America, used daily by millions of people. Yet few stop to consider the deep historical meaning behind its design and the legacy of liberty it carried. The original Washington Quarter was introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. And from the very beginning, it was closely tied to the concept of liberty. Washington was seen not as a king, but as a symbol of restrained power, freedom, and Republican values. Over the decades, the obverse design featuring Washington's portrait became one of the longest-running designs in U.S. history. By the time 2009 arrived, Americans were already familiar with the quarter as more than just spare change. It was a canvas for national history. The liberty embodied in the Washington portrait continued into 2009, even as the reverse designs changed to tell new stories. In 2009, the United States Mint launched the District of Columbia and U.S. Territories Quarters program, which followed the massively successful 50-state quarters program. These 2009 quarters were issued to recognize Washington, D.C. and 5 U.S. territories: Puerto Rico, Guam, American Samoa, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and the Northern Mariana Islands. While the reverse designs changed for each issue, the obverse still featured George Washington, maintaining the Liberty Quarter identity that Americans had known for generations. This continuity symbolized that no matter how diverse the regions of the United States are, they are all united under the same ideals of liberty and freedom. Each 2009 quarter told a unique story connected to liberty in its own way. The District of Columbia quarter featured Duke Ellington, celebrating cultural freedom, creativity, and artistic expression. Puerto Rico's design emphasized heritage and autonomy, reflecting the island's pride and identity within the American framework. Guam's quarter showcased natural beauty and resilience, while American Samoa highlighted traditional culture and harmony with nature. The U.S. Virgin Islands emphasized unity and strength, and the Northern Mariana Islands honored historical navigation and survival. Together, these designs expanded the meaning of liberty beyond politics, showing it as cultural, historical, and human freedom. From a collector perspective, the 2009 Liberty Quarter Dollar issues are especially interesting. Although millions were minted, the economic recession of 2008 and 2009 reduced coin circulation, which means many of these quarters were saved rather than spent. This has made high-grade, uncirculated examples more desirable today. Coins struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints are common in circulated condition, but finding pristine examples with sharp details and original luster can be challenging. Proof versions struck at the San Francisco Mint, especially in silver, are highly sought after by collectors who appreciate both beauty and long-term value. The Liberty Quarter 2009 also represents a bridge between old and new American coinage. It connects the classic Washington design to modern storytelling, blending tradition with innovation. This balance is what keeps the quarter relevant, even in a world that increasingly relies on digital transactions. The coin reminds us that liberty is not a static idea frozen in the past, but a living principle that adapts as the nation grows. Every 2009 quarter that passes through someone's hands carries a small piece of that message, whether the person notices it or not. Historically, quarters have been used to commemorate milestones, but the 2009 issues went a step further by acknowledging parts of the United States that were often overlooked in mainstream narratives. This inclusive approach strengthened the symbolic power of the Liberty Quarter Dollar. It reinforced the idea that liberty belongs to everyone, regardless of geography. In this sense, the 2009 quarters are more than coins. They are miniature historical documents that reflect how America sees itself in the modern era. Today, the 2009 United States Liberty Quarter Dollar stands as a reminder of unity, diversity, and shared values. For collectors, it offers an accessible entry point into modern U.S. numismatics. For historians, it represents a snapshot of a nation redefining how it tells its story. And for everyday people, it remains a familiar object that quietly carries the weight of American ideals. Whether kept in a collection, displayed in a case, or discovered years later in a forgotten drawer, the Liberty Quarter of 2009 continues to speak about freedom, heritage, and the enduring spirit of the United States of America. Step to the Liberty Quarter Dollar issued in 2016 by the United States of America holds a special place in modern American coinage because it represents both a continuation of a long historical tradition and a moment of transition in U.S. mint history. When people hear the word liberty in connection with American coins, it immediately brings to mind the core values on which the nation was built: freedom, independence, and democratic ideals. Although the standing Liberty Quarter officially ended decades ago, the spirit of liberty continues through modern quarters, and the 2016 Liberty-inspired quarter is a powerful reminder of that legacy. In 2016, the U.S. Mint was completing the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which ran from 2010 to 2021. And during this period, the designs focused on national parks and historic sites, but the obverse side consistently carried the iconic portrait of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan. Even though Washington's portrait dominates the obverse, the ideals of liberty remain embedded in every detail of the coin, from its inscriptions to its symbolism. The obverse of the 2016 Liberty Quarter features the familiar left-facing profile of George Washington, which is a standard design on U.S. quarters since 1932. This portrait is often associated with liberty itself because Washington symbolizes the birth of American freedom and the struggle for independence from British rule. The word liberty is boldly inscribed across the top of the coin, serving as a constant reminder of the nation's guiding principle. Just below Washington's chin appears a motto, "In God We Trust," a phrase that has been part of U.S. coinage for generations and reflects the cultural and historical values of the country. The date, 2016, is clearly visible on the obverse, marking the year of minting, and depending on where the coin was produced, a mint mark of P for Philadelphia or D for Denver can be found near the ribbon in Washington's hair. These small details are crucial for collectors, as mint marks can influence rarity and value. Turning to the reverse side of the 2016 Liberty Quarter, the design changes depending on the specific release within the America the Beautiful series. In 2016, 5 different reverse designs were issued, each honoring a unique national park or historic site. These included Shawnee National Forest in Illinois, Cumberland Gap National Historical Park in Kentucky, Harper's Ferry National Historical Park in West Virginia, Theodore Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota, and Fort Moultrie at Fort Sumner National Monument in South Carolina. Each reverse design tells its own story of American heritage, natural beauty, and historical significance, reinforcing the broader concept of liberty by celebrating the land and events that shaped the nation. The inscriptions United States of America and $quarter appear on the reverse, along with E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, a phrase that perfectly captures the unity and diversity of the United States. From a technical standpoint, the 2016 Liberty Quarter is composed of a clad metal structure consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The coin has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters and weighs 5.67 grams, which have been standard for U.S. quarters since 1965. The reeded edge is another familiar feature, originally designed to prevent the shaving of precious metals when coins were made from silver. While modern quarters no longer contain silver for circulation, the reeded edge remains as a historical design element. These specifications may seem ordinary, but they connect the 2016 quarter to a long lineage of American coinage that dates back over 2 centuries. For collectors, the 2016 Liberty Quarter offers multiple avenues of interest. While most circulated examples are worth face value, uncirculated coins in mint condition can carry a modest premium, especially those graded MS-67 or higher by professional grading services. Proof versions, struck specifically for collectors with a mirror-like finish, were produced at the San Francisco Mint and bear an S Mint mark. These proof coins are often more desirable due to their sharp details and limited production numbers. Additionally, error coins from 2016, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or planchet errors, can be significantly more valuable and highly sought after by numismatists. The historical significance of the Liberty Quarter concept cannot be overstated. The original standing Liberty Quarter, minted from 1916 to 1930, is one of the most beloved designs in U.S. coin history, featuring Lady Liberty holding a shield and olive branch. Although the 2016 quarter does not depict Lady Liberty directly, the continued use of the word liberty and the celebration of national heritage sites serve as a modern interpretation of that earlier vision. In many ways, the 2016 Liberty Quarter bridges the past and present, reminding Americans that liberty is not just a historical idea, but a living principle that continues to shape the nation. Market value for the 2016 Liberty Quarter varies, depending on condition, mint mark, and type. Circulated coins are typically worth 25 cents, but uncirculated examples can range from $1 to $5, depending on grade. Proof coins often sell for higher prices, especially when kept in original government packaging. Error coins, as mentioned earlier, can command prices ranging from tens to hundreds of dollars, depending on the severity and rarity of the error. As with all coins, demand, condition, and collector interest play key roles in determining value. In conclusion, the Liberty Quarter Dollar 2016 from the United States of America may appear at first glance to be just another modern coin, but when examined closely, it reveals a rich blend of history, symbolism, and craftsmanship. It carries forward the enduring message of liberty through its inscriptions, honors America's natural and historical landmarks through its reverse designs, and serves as an accessible entry point for both new and experienced collectors. Whether you found one in your pocket change or deliberately added it to your collection, the 2016 Liberty Quarter stands as a small yet powerful piece of American history, reminding us that liberty, like the coin itself, is something to be valued, preserved, and passed on to future generations. The Liberty Quarter Dollar 2020 represents a powerful connection between America's historic coinage and the modern era, blending classic symbolism with contemporary minting standards. When collectors hear the word liberty, it immediately brings to mind freedom, independence, and the core values upon which the United States was built. Although the 2020 quarter belongs to the modern Washington Quarter series, the spirit of liberty still lives strongly in its design, story, and purpose. This coin was produced during a remarkable year in American history, making it even more meaningful to collectors today. Minted in massive numbers, yet still holding collectible interest, the 2020 Liberty-themed quarter reflects how everyday pocket change can carry deep historical and cultural significance far beyond its face value. The year 2020 was unlike any other, and coins minted during this period quietly witnessed a world facing major change. The Liberty quarter dollar of 2020 circulated through hands during a time of uncertainty, resilience, and national reflection. For many collectors, coins from this year symbolize endurance and continuity, reminding us that even during challenging times, the U.S. Mint continued its work of producing currency that represents stability. Liberty has always been a guiding principle in American coinage, and even in modern quarters, that message remains clear. Every time someone spends or collects a 2020 quarter, they are holding a small piece of that historic moment. The design elements of the Liberty quarter dollar 2020 reflect the long tradition of U.S. coin artistry. The obverse typically features George Washington, a symbol closely tied to American independence and liberty itself. Washington's portrait has evolved over time, but its presence continues to represent leadership, sacrifice, and freedom. Surrounding inscriptions such as Liberty and In God We Trust reinforce the foundational values of the nation. The crisp details and modern engraving techniques used in 2020 allow even small features to appear sharp and well-defined, making this coin visually appealing even to new collectors. On the reverse side, many 2020 quarters were part of the America the Beautiful program, which celebrated national parks and historic sites. While not every collector associates these designs directly with liberty, they strongly connect to the idea of preserving freedom, land, and heritage. National parks represent the freedom to explore, protect, and appreciate natural beauty, and these themes align perfectly with the spirit of liberty. Each reverse design from 2020 tells its own story, whether it honors a natural landmark, a historic site, or a place deeply connected to American identity. From a minting perspective, the Liberty quarter dollar 2020 was produced at multiple U.S. mint facilities, including Philadelphia and Denver. These mint marks help collectors identify where a coin was struck, and subtle differences between them can sometimes affect desirability. Philadelphia mint coins often carry no mint mark, while Denver coins feature a small D. Although both were struck in high numbers, collectors still enjoy searching rolls to find clean, well-preserved examples. In some cases, uncirculated coins pulled directly from rolls can still show excellent luster and detail. Condition plays a major role in the value of any coin, and the 2020 Liberty quarter is no exception. Most circulated examples are worth face value, but coins in mint state condition can attract interest from collectors who appreciate pristine surfaces. Coins graded MS65 or higher can command premiums, especially if they show strong strike quality and minimal contact marks. While these premiums may not be extremely high, they still make the 2020 quarter worth examining carefully before spending or storing it away. Error coins add another layer of excitement to the Liberty quarter dollar 2020. Errors such as off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, and die cracks can dramatically increase a coin's value. These mistakes occur during the minting process and are often discovered only after coins enter circulation. A small doubling in the lettering or an unusual shape can turn an ordinary quarter into a prized collectible. Many collectors actively search rolls of 2020 quarters hoping to find such rare errors, knowing that even modern coins can hide valuable surprises. The metal composition of the 2020 quarter follows modern standards, consisting of a copper core with nickel outer layer. While it does not contain silver like older Liberty-era quarters from the early 20th century, it still represents the evolution of U.S. coinage. This composition allows the coin to remain durable and cost-effective, while still maintaining a familiar look and feel. For newer collectors, the 2020 Liberty quarter serves as an accessible entry point into the hobby, offering historical meaning without high cost. Collectors often debate whether modern coins, like the 2020 Liberty quarter, will become more valuable in the future. While it is unlikely to reach the prices of classic silver quarters, its historical context may give it long-term appeal. Coins minted during significant global or national events often gain attention years later as reminders of a specific time period. As the story of 2020 continues to be studied and remembered, coins from that year may hold sentimental and historical value that goes beyond simple monetary worth. The The Liberty theme itself has always been central to American coinage. From early flowing hair designs to seated Liberty coins and modern interpretations, Liberty represents an idea that transcends generations. The 2020 quarter may not feature a classic Liberty figure, but the word Liberty remains proudly displayed, connecting it to centuries of tradition. This continuity is one of the most fascinating aspects of coin collecting, showing how designs evolve while core values remain unchanged. For YouTube viewers interested in starting a coin collection, the Liberty Quarter Dollar 2020 is a great example of how modern coins can still be meaningful. It teaches collectors how to examine condition, identify mint marks, and search for errors. It also encourages appreciation for the stories behind everyday objects. Coins are more than metal. They are witnesses to history, culture, and national identity. As time passes, fewer uncirculated 2020 quarters will remain available, especially those kept in perfect condition. Many will continue to be spent, scratched, or damaged through circulation. This natural process slowly reduces the number of high-grade examples, which can increase demand among collectors. Saving a few clean examples today could prove rewarding for those who enjoy long-term collecting rather than quick profit. The Liberty Quarter Dollar 2020 also serves as a reminder that coin collecting does not always have to focus on extreme rarity or high prices. Sometimes the most enjoyable part of the hobby is learning, searching, and appreciating the artistry and symbolism of coins already around us. A simple quarter can spark curiosity, inspire research, and connect people to history in a tangible way. In the end, the Liberty Quarter Dollar 2020 stands as a modern representation of an enduring American ideal. It may be common, it may still circulate widely, but its story is far from ordinary. It carries the weight of a historic year, the legacy of liberty, and the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint. Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone just beginning to look more closely at the coins in your pocket, the